Alright, so this is the video for the quotient rule. The quotient rule tells us that u of x over v of x, that the derivative of this is v of x times u prime of x minus u of x times v prime of x, and that's all divided by v of x squared. So the proof of this is that we have our function f of x is equal to u of x over v of x. Now we're going to apply this to differential quotient, so that's going to be u of x plus delta x over v of x plus delta x minus u of x divided by v of x, and that's all going to be divided by delta x. Now what we want here is to have a common denominator. We want to get rid of this part so that it becomes a lot simpler. So what we do is we time all this by v of x plus delta x times vx divided by v of x plus delta x multiplied with v of x. So now we have eliminated this bottom part. So now we have f prime of x equal to limit delta x to 0 u of x plus delta x times v of x minus u of x times v of x plus delta x over delta x plus v of x plus delta x plus v of x. So now what we're going to do is we're going to introduce v of x and u of x to isolate the limits. So what we get is this part right here. U of x plus delta x plus v of x minus u of x plus vx plus ux times v of x minus u of x times vx of delta x, or plus delta x, sorry, over delta x of v of x plus delta x times v of x. So what we do next is we split up this function right here and we apply it to here, and we divide it all by delta x. The reason why v of x and negative u of x isn't in this is because we times it by it so that it gets removed from the top, since we only want this to be there. So what we get is f prime of x is equal to limit delta x to 0 v of x times u of x plus delta x minus u of x over delta x minus u of x times v of x plus delta x minus v of x over delta x. And that's all going to be divided by v of x plus delta x times v of x. So now we apply the limit to all of the numbers. So you can see right here, limit delta x to 0 of v of x times the limit of delta x to 0 of u of x plus delta x minus u of x over delta x, and we're going to do the exact same right here and on the bottom as well. So what we can do is we reduce it, and then finally we get f prime of x is equal to v of x times the derivative of u, or u prime of x, minus u of x times v prime of x over v of x squared.